You're watching Newsday TV. Thanks for joining us this Tuesday evening. I'm Ken Bufa. An emotional day in a Mineola courtroom as a Jericho man was sentenced for driving drunk and killing a motorcyclist. Sherry Einhorn spoke with the victim's family.
It's definitely hard adjusting without my best friend. You know, we're together every day. I just miss him a lot.
Exactly.
So it's been hard.
Adriana Rodriguez is now raising 4 young children on her own. Her partner, 29-year-old Stanley Christopher Subrian, was hit and killed by a drunk driver in March of last year while riding home from work on his motorcycle. 32-year-old Jordan Solomon pled guilty and was sentenced to 6.5 to 15 years behind bars. In court, he apologized for his decisions that night.
No words can erase or ease the pain that I've inflicted on everybody in the Subrian family, but I can at the very least say I'm sorry.
According to prosecutors, Solomon was driving drunk and speeding at about 100 miles an hour westbound here on Jericho Turnpike in Jericho when he slammed into the back of the motorcycle. Tyrell Ford told the judge he and Subrian had been friends since they were 3. Quote, "The damage done in one night destroyed a lifetime of family, brotherhood, fatherhood, childhood friendships, and much more."
There is no reason to get behind the wheel of a car after drinking. We have so many options. I am really getting tired of meeting families who have lost a loved one because of the reckless actions of these drunk drivers.
Subrian's brother said the family is now working hard to make sure the 4 children remember how special their father was.
His soul was amazing. He could brighten up any room. No amount of time he can do will fill the void or bring my brother back. He took away the rest of my brother's life. So who knows what he could have became.
In Mineola, I'm Sherry Einhorn for Newsday TV.
And the hunt is on tonight for the man who slashed a woman at a busy shopping center. It happened at the Roosevelt Field Mall yesterday afternoon. Police say a 20-year-old woman was walking inside on the 2nd floor when she was slashed in the face by a man. They say the suspect targeted the victim. She was taken to the hospital and treated for a large cut on her cheek. Now, police want anyone with information to call Nassau Crime Stoppers at 1-800-244-TIPS. And there are new details about the flight heading to Long Island that crashed in Virginia. The pilot of the jet, Jeff Hefner, stopped communicating with air traffic control minutes after takeoff. The plane left Tennessee around 1:13 Sunday as it set off towards MacArthur Airport. Now, preliminary information says the last air traffic control communication attempt with the airplane was at 1:28 p.m. And then 8 minutes later, the FAA reported the situation. Now, as Newsday has reported, Hefner, Adina Azarian, her 2-year-old daughter Aria, and their live-in nanny were all killed when the plane went down. And the names of the people who paid to keep George Santos out of jail could soon be made public. A federal judge approved the request from several news outlets to identify who posted Santos's bond. However, the judge is delaying the release of the names, giving Santos's lawyer until noon Friday to appeal. The congressman was released on a $500,000 bond last month after pleading not guilty to several charges, including stealing from campaign donors and lying to Congress. Santos' attorney claims releasing the names could cause great distress, including possible job losses and physical harm to those people. And Chris Christie has formally launched his 2nd presidential run. The former New Jersey governor filed paperwork for his 2024 bid. Christie is joining an already crowded Republican field and is once again facing off against former President Donald Trump. Christie first ran for president back in 2016. And 79 years ago today, U.S. troops, including many Long Islanders, joined their allies and stormed the beaches of Normandy, France. This was the scene this morning on Omaha Beach as people gathered for sunrise ceremonies to mark the anniversary of the D-Day landings. Now, on that day in 1944, nearly 4,500 Allied soldiers died, with more than half of them being Americans. Now, here on the island, a flag-raising ceremony was held in Hauppauge today. World War II veterans who took part in D-Day attended the service. And in Nassau, a wreath was placed on a D-Day landing craft at the Museum of American Armor in Old Bethpage. Switching gears now, an air quality advisory is in effect until tomorrow. Smoke from more than 100 wildfires in Quebec is causing hazy conditions across New York and here on the island. The state DEC says exposure can cause irritation to the eyes, nose, and throat and can worsen medical conditions like asthma and heart disease. Now, with that in mind, let's take a look at your Long Island weather. And you can see right now, this is the Futurecast satellite and radar for the next 24 hours. With that out of the way, let's take a closer look at tomorrow, shall we, to see if this rain is finally behind us. And it looks like it is, with tomorrow temperatures reaching in the 70s, and it looks like it's going to be sunny for most of the day.
Watch Newsday TV on the big screen. Use the remote to activate Siri, Alexa, Roku, or the Google Assistant on your streaming device. Say, install Newsday. Newsday TV, covering Long Island like no one else can.
There's mixed reviews about the LIer's newly renovated bathrooms and waiting room at Penn Station. Alfonso Castillo has a story you'll see only in Newsday.
Whether you're just tired or you need to sit down for a different reason, Penn Station now has a few more options for LIer riders looking to get off their feet. After being closed for the last 8 months, the Long Island Railroad's newly renovated bathrooms and waiting room in Penn Station recently reopened, providing all kinds of relief to weary commuters.
Particularly as I'm growing older, the lack of bathroom accessibility did become a little more of an issue. And it's great to see the little facility and waiting room open here.
Now, for obvious reasons, I can't take you in there to show you around, but trust me, it's an improvement over what was there before. Everything is touchless, the sinks, dryers, urinals, it's brightly lit, and you step outside into a remodeled waiting room that has something else that Long Island Railroad riders have been missing for quite a while, seating.
For the past year, there was no seating whatsoever. It was miserable. You know, I have to sit on my bag, I have to sit on the floor. After standing all day at work, you know, I have to stand even longer while waiting for the train. So I'm just happy it's back.
The new and improved bathrooms and waiting room are part of a larger $700 million renovation of the LIer's Penn Station concourse that's been underway for 4 years.
And there will be even more places to sit down once some of these shops and restaurants start opening this fall. For Newsday TV, I'm Alfonso Castillo.
Now, to read more about the new Penn waiting rooms and bathrooms, go to Newsday.com and click Get More below the Newsday TV video box. A Long Islander won big on The Price is Right, and Steve Langford has a story you'll see only in Newsday.
Oh my gosh, love the show. I've been a fan since I was a kid.
There may be no bigger fan of The Price is Right than George Fletcher of Bayshore.
I've been to about a dozen different tapings, so I have a number of the tickets that I had when I went previous times.
This past April, Fletcher was picked out of the audience in Television City to be a contestant on The Price is Right.
The whole thing, it's so surreal while it's happening. You're on 100% adrenaline, I'll tell you.
It was Fletcher's second appearance on The Price is Right. He lost a bid for a car.
I'm not going to be the guy who's got 2 showcase overbids in his lifetime, and we use this data constantly.
This time, Fletcher, who's general manager of service planning projects at the LIer, put his math skills to use in making better bids on the game show, winning not just one brand new car.
Yo! You just got it! Wow!
The first one was a Mitsubishi Outlander Sport.
But a second SUV as well.
The other one was a Mazda CX-30.
Fletcher also nabbed some kitchen appliances and lawn care equipment, among other items. He says he'll probably sell one of his new cars.
Price is Right is just such a piece of Americana, you know, and I'm just so thankful and grateful to have had this tiny, tiny little piece of it twice now.
George Fletcher's new car is going to sit in his garage at home most of the time since he takes the train to work here in Jamaica every day. Steve Langford for Newsday TV.
It's nice to win not one, but 2 new cars. Great job. Now, to have more and learn more about George's story, go to Newsday.com and click Get More below the Newsday TV video box.
Get more of the stories you've seen on Newsday TV at Newsday.com. Plus breaking news, investigations, things to do, restaurants, and other Long Island news you can't get anywhere else. At Newsday.com, covering Long Island like no one else can.
You're watching Newsday TV. I'm Ken Buffa. Thank you so much for joining us. We leave you now with a look at your 7-day forecast.